Welcome to the You Heard podcast, your go-to for Miami Hurricanes football. Ben, Joe, Hope, and CB break down recruiting, hot topics, and game day action.
All right, we'll talk about it at the end. No, let's talk about this right now because he completely flipped it on me now.
I hate him for knowing this, bro. This man knew the brand, dog.
Okay, I don't appreciate that. I'm saying, like,
what are we talking about, son?
Get into what I'm talking about. I felt
Keeping it a buck.
Let me close these curtains real quick.
You heard.
Hey, yo. What's going on, man? Everybody in the chat, what's going on? Jay, what's up, brother? Hope everything is well. Tony Toka, what's going on? Juan, you all right? You always in here, man. Salute to all y'all in here, man. Everybody watching, everybody listening. My fellas are out, been handling some business, while sending me offers that he received in the game, new college football. He's sending me offers he got, he sucks at the game, but he's getting offers. I don't know how that go. But, I got a special guest, though. I got somebody to kick it with. My guy, man. We ain't seen him in a long time on the show. Hey, my dude, Rasta, man. What's going on, big fella?
And I'm coolin', bro. Can't even complain, dog. How you doing?
Yeah, you looking good. You looking healthy, brother.
Trying to, bro. Trying to, do what we can to stay here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How you? We'll get into some things, man. We'll get into some things in a minute. We're not gonna get riled up on here, but we're gonna get into some things. We're not gonna get into the deep conversation. We'll discuss that offline. But Juan, we gonna touch on the reclassification things, man. We're gonna touch on that because one of the guys in the 27 class is thinking about reclassing, and we're gonna see how that goes. Pilo, we'll get to you, man. So speaking of that roster, man, Kenton Dopson, man. Class of 2027 as of now, cornerback. On 3 has at 6 foot, 180, 185. They got him as the number 2 player in the whole state of Florida, number 4 corner, and number 20 nationally. Now this changes depending on what service you're looking at. But
Sure.
What you think? I know you recruiting. We talking to the recruiting king over here, man. What you think about Kenton Dobson, man? What can you tell us about him?
I mean, I'm a big fan of his, bro. You turn on his tape, the kid pops. I think he's a better polished version of Chris Ewald, which obviously Miami fans know really, really well. But I say his name because I know with Miami fans, when we watched Chris go through his high school career, he played a lot of corner. And then he gets to Miami, turns into a safety / nickel. And I see that very similar happening with Kenton because he's not the fastest guy, right? But if you put him in man coverage, bro, he's physical and he's a technician, very much so like a guy that just committed to us. I know we'll talk about him soon, Brody Jennings. It's very similar, right? And it's kind of crazy because when you go and look at some of the traits that they're looking at, you want the speed, obviously, but it's not like the dude is slow. He's still a probably high 4.4, low 4.5 guy. And just in my opinion, man, I mean, I think the kid is one of the best in his class. If he reclasses, I'm not against it. He can get here and get on this field a little early, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, like I tell any recruit, bro, I'm not fond of everybody reclassing because it doesn't always work. But just get here, get in the strength and conditioning program, sit, learn, and then you never know. Look at what's going on with Malachi Tony. I mean, he's shining already, but I don't like it because I wish kids would go through their full high school, seasons and development and growth me personally, but
Mhm.
you know, kids like Ryan Williams, bro, they come in and 17 years old, they're a superstar.
Absolutely.
You can't
Absolutely.
get your money, bro. Get your fame, because dudes like that, they gonna shine no matter what, you know, when they come to college.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I feel you. And as a a parent of a college athlete, I wouldn't mind either way. I think if you're
Hmm.
physically ready and you feel like you're mentally ready, then
Right.
and you feel like you've outgrown high school. Some kids outgrow high school, man. They're ready to leave.
Yeah.
They
True.
can get started early and then play what would be your true freshman year.
Right.
Play, come in and just get started, man. So I don't think he's officially made that decision yet.
He hasn't. Not
But
yet.
I heard he's about 90% or something like that, man, and it's probably gonna happen. Um, what do you think are the implications for the program? Like when you're expecting a guy like Javari Flowers, when he did it,
Hmm.
um, it doesn't seem like they were ready for that situation. So what do you
Yeah.
think the implications are on a program when a kid decides to do that?
Um, it's like even recruiting a kid currently, right, in their
Mhm.
class, communication is massive, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if Miami would have made so many moves, maybe in the
Mhm.
portal, had they had known Flowers was going
Mhm.
to hit,
Mhm.
reclassify. But it Miami would have took Flowers 100%. But you're correct. Miami wasn't ready because of what they just spent in the portal, what they
Facts.
had already, as far as, incoming into that class. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't like we were needing another DB, right?
Right. Right.
And obviously, Florida wanted him, needed him, kind of boost that class, continue. And I don't care what nobody said, bro. That kid is an outstanding athlete. He's gonna make an impact. I don't know if he
Yeah.
goes to Florida this year and
Yeah.
does it, but I definitely think that kid, he's very, very athletic. Just see again. I don't know if he's ready for college immediately. If his body, if his mind, or anything, like if he's physically and mentally prepared. But you'll find out.
Yeah.
Hell, what, a month away, something like that.
Yeah. 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 I mean, from what we're hearing, he'll definitely make an impact on special teams. I think
Mhm.
you can do that early. If there's something you could do early, it's hard to ask the young man to come in and lock up at corner, or play the slot, but to play, to return kicks, I think he'll be all good. Yeah,
Absolutely,
I think he'll be
absolutely.
all good. I got some weather coming through here, man, so I might start to get delayed a little bit. I see my signal acting crazy already. Um, yeah, man. So Kenton Dobson, man, I'm looking forward to seeing him and looking forward to seeing if he does reclassify. The secondary room is crazy. It really flipped. It a year, it flipped with the
Right.
transfers and then the freshmen coming in, man. You got seatbelt coming in. You still got John Tavius Wyman coming in, who's crazy.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
like both of them, and you got Camden.
Camden Portis. You could get something popping this weekend. Maybe something happen. Who knows? At the safety position,
I'm hoping, man.
possibly. You
I'm
know what I
hoping.
mean?
I love both of those dudes, bro. I'm
Yeah,
hoping. I
man.
hoping. I take
And you,
one, but I want both.
Mhm. Yeah, and you got Bryce Fitzgerald, who wasn't here in the spring. He's
Yep.
coming in the summer, and that's one of my favorite recruits, man. You got Ewald.
Hmm.
You still got Ryan Mack just chilling. You know what I
Yeah. He's
mean?
got
Like
he's got to
it's
get
it's
healthy, but yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy back there.
Yep.
And you mentioned them earlier, Brody Jennings committed, man. A big flip from Michigan.
Yeah.
People not really understanding how big that is, man. Brody Jennings, one of the most technically sound corners in the country,
Hmm.
man. Talk about Brody, man, and what you think of him.
I'm a big fan, man. I think he's going to play nickel for us. which is honestly one of my opinions. It's been one of the weakest spots for us since Bandy left. But it seems like you got a few guys last year, especially in the portal, and you're recruiting well. I think he's a guy that can come in and impact, bro. You know, the position will be open, obviously. After the season, you can get any guy in there, and let's just see how they shake out. But you said it, man. I mean, he's one of the most technical, technician DBs in the entire country. He's physical. He likes to get his hands on you. So in my opinion, he's a man cover guy. But if you go look at Heatherman, he fits so perfect into that defensive scheme.
Yeah, he absolutely does, man. And again, he's been committed to Michigan. He was committed to Michigan for a long time, man.
Like a year.
Yeah, I remember when he dropped that graphic. I was like, yeah. So again, man, he's a Florida kid though. You know how that goes. He's back home, and unfortunately, what happened with his dad, man, rest up to him, man, and prayers to him and his family. But and I think his sister is here, right? His sister's at UM, right? Yeah, man.
I think she runs track for UM, and then obviously his brother played at UM.
Yeah, yep, yeah, man. So family a lot of times wins out at the end, man. Sometimes it doesn't, but in this college football, colleges are paying for families to move together. You know what I mean? They'll move whole families wherever they at. Yeah, man. Let me get to some of these questions, man. Tony Toka, we getting a linebacker tomorrow. Who's committing tomorrow?
The only dude I know tomorrow is Lamar Brown, unless he's talking about LB as far as Lamar Brown.
Oh, we getting LB tomorrow. My bad. Yes, linebacker tomorrow. Yeah, man. Who knows, man? I'm not. Listen. Tomorrow he announces. But signing day in December, man. That's all I'm going to always say, man. Wake me up in December, brother. You know what I mean? So many things could go haywire during the season, man. So if LSU has another subpar to shitty season, things are going to change. Texas A&M ain't never been good. I don't know why people go. Texas A&M hasn't been good ever. Like, it had like 11-win season with the Johnny Manziel, and that's it, man. They wasn't even good in the Big 12, so I don't know why people go there, but whatever. Hold up, let me get to Juan, man. My guy, Juan, what's this you saying up here? Juan, what is with the reclassifying? Can Nico reclassify to wide receiver from? Are you talking about Nick Lanier? This is not a good trend. Kids are not going to develop in their high school senior year for getting NIL money. Yeah, Juan. I mean, it goes either way, man. Develop. You're not really developing in high school. Like you're developing physically, because you're growing, obviously, but when you get to a college weight room and a college training staff and college coaches, that's when you truly develop. You know what I mean? Because you see the difference for most kids from freshman year to sophomore year. You see that development as they get older. That's what you hope to see. So, I think it'll be all right, man. Some people, can't. They don't have the ability to reclass. So I think if you do and you have the ability to reclass, man, why not? Malachi Tony was literally born to play receiver. Yeah, Malachi Tony's a problem. Where the safeties? Roster, where the safeties at, man?
You got two this weekend. The two this weekend dictate a lot.
If you had to pick one, who would you go with?
It's tough because neither are identical, right?
They play differently, right? They play
different
styles. Yeah.
I like the way I would take both. Let me say that. If you get one or you get the other, I don't really care. I want both. no matter what. But to me, Blake Stewart is top 2 safety in the entire country, in my opinion. I think that kid is like that. I think he's a guy that can come in and immediately make an impact. I think Tyreek Green is a top 5 safety, and I don't have him at 5. I have him at 4 right now. In the entire country.
Yeah.
Blake is more polished. He's more sound. He's more technical of a safety. He understands his assignments. I think that kid is truly like that. I think with Tyreek, it's more of he's an athletic freak. Size, speed. I don't know if you saw the picture where he was sitting beside KJ Bolden and Caleb Downs. Dude, he was like double their size. You know, I think Miami has to do whatever possible to land both, and I do think they are. I just think and I've said this before, conference affiliation plays a massive part.
Say it all the time, man.
Some people don't want to hear it. You know,
yeah.
People want to believe that these kids are truly just not choosing Miami because they want to go, to Clemson. They want to go to Georgia or Oregon. It's not the case, man. These kids want to play in prime time, big time games. You can say whatever you want. I understand Miami looks the part. We're on an upward trajectory. Clemson's been doing this. They've been doing this 10 plus years, bro, 15 years. They've got the development. There's a reason why Clemson is not considered an ACC team, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at who we're facing to get a lot of these kids, it's SEC, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, or Oregon.
Yep.
USC for a couple, but the rest are the SEC. I know a lot of people are upset and kind of disappointed with the D tackle position recruiting wise, but bro, look where these kids are committing.
Yeah.
They're all in the SEC.
Yep.
So I had somebody ask me the other day, well, why are we only going after kids in the South, like in that Bible Belt area? Well, go look at the recruiting rankings. Go watch some tape. There's not many actual elite guys in the Midwest or the West Coast. Most of the kids on the West Coast are going Oregon, USC. Most of the kids in the South are staying in the SEC. So you just gotta take your battles, bro.
Yeah. You in Miami again. Miami is in the situation where they have to do double what anybody else has to do because again, we talked about, and I posted something about Texas A&M again, man. I hate to keep picking on them, but over the last 20 years, Texas A&M has about 3 more wins than Miami. Texas A&M hasn't won a conference, like Miami. Texas A&M has had 1 or 2 double-digit win seasons, like Miami. So the only difference is, and it's a glaring difference, is that they're in the SEC. That's the only difference, man. And I can't hold you. Their game day experience is kind of ill. It's crazy. Like when we went out there for the game. Did you go to that game, Rasta? Was you out there?
I didn't make it out though.
Woof. That shit crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. That 12th man shit is crazy. And again, man, it's a small town feel. Everything shuts down for the game, and that's how it is in every SEC city and
environment.
Town, so I get that, man. We all get that, but we all get that. The SEC commissioner does an amazing job. He's an asshole, but he does an amazing job at being an asshole for his conference.
Right. True.
He does, and I can't knock him. I can't knock him at all.
And Miami's not going to the SEC, like ever.
It's not happening. They don't want that at all.
No, you gotta hope that we get to the Big Ten.
Yeah, facts. So Tamarian Watkins, man, is he
A&M.
on the list? Is he an option?
He's an option, but again, it's South Carolina or A&M, and A&M's got the best offer on the table. Not necessarily money wise only, but again, like I said, man, these kids are so
That's
brainwashed, you know, like, and it's funny because when I say that, right, a lot of people go, oh, coaches, parents, mentors. It's not just that, bro. You go turn on TV, you put on ESPN, what are showing? SEC.
Yep.
You know, they're showing the Georgia Bama game. They're showing LSU Bama. You know, they're brainwashed because all they see. You get on the timeline and rivals constantly talking SEC. You know, on 3, 247. It's always SEC. These kids are brainwashed because that's all they see. And you just hit on it. Their commissioner sells the brand amazingly. You know,
Man,
bro,
listen.
you got Auburn. I understand they won a championship once in 40 years.
Right.
You've got A&M who hasn't won squat in 100. Missouri
Nothing.
that's never won nothing.
Nothing.
Florida that's had one win a season in 5 years. South Carolina's never won shit. Tennessee hasn't been anything since Peyton left. All these teams, but they're
Ole
doing an
Miss.
amazing. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, like, bro, you can go down the list. They're brainwashed. Why? Because they see an SEC logo. You know, that's it. These, like you said, the game day atmosphere for Ole Miss and Mississippi State is amazing. Nobody's going to take that away. But again, you're telling me, and I understand. I'm a city person. I love Miami. I wouldn't want to live nowhere else in this world. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a 17, 18-year-old kid that's never been anywhere else in this country getting to go to something like Ole Miss during football, right? All they see is that weekend.
Yep.
They're not seeing, oh man, when football is over, the next 7-8 months is miserable.
Yep. Winston, I think it's brainwashing because of the good marketing. You know what I mean? It's not, you know what I mean? It's not that, you know, they're, you know, a cult or anything, kind of. But, you know, that good marketing causes that, man. But, and I think you said something, Rasta, about the off season, basically. I don't think that's as true as it once was because of NIL. So now the other 7 months, you got $1 million in your pocket. You got 500,000 in your pocket. You can do what you want to do. Those other months, you riding around in a Lambo or a G-Wagon or something. It makes it a little bit better or more tolerable to be chilling in Mississippi, you know, during the off season. You know, so it's a lot. I think my guy Poke, what's good, brother? I think the NIL has also made it just better to have to be in Columbus, Ohio, in the whole off season because, you know, I'm comfortable. I'm riding around and getting it, you know. So, you know, all right, man. Let me hit this commercial real quick. And listen, we're gonna talk about what we're talking about, man. The South Florida athlete. We got the fan base is riled up, man. Calvin Russell's going to Syracuse. You know, there's some misses. We think, you know, the fan base thinks Coach Cristobal has missed on a couple of kids from South Florida that he should never miss on. Derek Cooper's up next. You know, he pushed his commitment date back. The fan base is crazy. Fan base going crazy. Fan base going crazy. Give me 1 minute. We're gonna discuss it, man, real quick. And then we'll be out of here.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Salute to Caneswear, man. I'll be down there as soon as the season starts. I'll be down there, brother.
Yeah, I got my package tomorrow. I can't wait.
Hell yes, it's almost time.
It is.
All right, man. So we missed on Calvin Russell recently, and I say missed. I don't think anybody is a miss because signing day is not here, right? So I'm a firm believer that anything can happen in December on that day, and the season. You commit to a school, they're shitty, and they lose their coaches, and you're like, oh nah, I'm out of here. So people are paying for commitments, so people are paying for verbals. So anything can happen. But we missed on Calvin Russell. There are some, that position, wide receiver. We missed on JJ last year. Obviously, I don't want to go down the list of the countless big names Miami has missed on at that position. Right. What do you think is the issue specifically with that position and more broadly the elite South Florida player wanting to leave and go elsewhere and not put on for Miami? Is there an issue? First of all, is there a real problem or is it overblown? And what is the issue if there's a issue?
I mean, I don't know if issue is the correct term. Okay. There's something there, right? There's a disconnect in South Florida for whatever reason. You can talk about the 707 coaches. You could talk about the head coaches. You can talk about family, handlers, runners, whatever you want. You can definitely talk about it, but you also still got to put the blame on our staff, right? No matter what, at the end of the day, you recruit them, you didn't get them. It's your fault for not realizing what's the disconnect, right? Okay. It's your job. You're getting paid to make this happen
handsomely. Yes.
But I will say, not every kid wants to stay home. Mm-hmm. I will say not every kid feels like Miami is the destination for them. Now, for whatever reason, might be education, conference affiliation, Miami not playing in the conference, whatever it might be. There's an issue, right? There's a disconnect there. And I think at times too, this local thing gets taken for granted. You're a hometown kid. You should come play for Miami. Then it gets taken for granted sometimes, right? But at the same time, the South Florida kids believe they
shit. Did we lose Rasta or is that just me? Let me know in the chat if you guys hear me and don't see Rasta or hear Rasta, or is it me? Okay, there you go.
You can hear me? My bad. Yep, I got a call.
We got you back. Okay.
No, I was saying, like, there's some sense of entitlement with these kids, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just South Florida kids. Like, there's entitlement from other kids as well, right? But for whatever reason, the two doesn't always mesh,
Sure.
And it's Mario's job to figure out what it takes to mesh that together. So, at the end of the day, hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully they get it right, because no matter what, you've got kids coming up 27, 28, 29, even 30, where you've got elite talent down here,
Absolutely.
I hope he figures it out. If not, honestly, I'm not mad, because Miami hasn't solely been built off the backs of South Florida, right?
Absolutely.
We've had kids everywhere.
Yep.
But the thing to me is, if you miss on a kid locally, you need to make it up nationally, and hopefully they figure that out, bro.
Yeah. I feel you. I want to address this Faith Family Football. My guy, what's going on? We have to set the Canes glasses aside sometime. We had the number one offense last year with 0 wide receivers drafted. If I'm a top recruit, my end goal was the NFL. Ohio State is a no-brainer. Cane fan, by the way. No doubt, Faith Family Football. We know who you are, brother. Listen, so I feel there's two ways to look at this, right? So the fact that not we didn't have a receiver drafted is not because of the production of the receiver. So let's talk about X. X, that's our guy, man. No disrespect to X. 5'9",
On a good day.
You know what I mean? 200, it's stout, but 5'9", 180, 190. He ran what he ran. Whether he should have ran that 40 or not, he ran it. He ran what he ran. You weren't getting drafted. Like, name me a receiver in that vein who's been drafted. Right. Like, recently. I'm not talking about back in the day. I'm talking recently. It's definitely not due to production. Jacoby George, my guy. He had a stellar career. 5'10", 170, 180. Not the fastest. I don't even think he ran, did he?
No, I don't think he did. If he did, I think it was like a 4.5. He wasn't fast. Like, he was never a fast guy either.
Yeah, never. And we could see that on the field. But a very good route runner. He was busting their ass at the Senior Bowl practices. Everybody saw that. It wasn't due to production, man. It's just due to you're not getting the 5-star receiver, the Amon Richards, so to speak, in recruiting. So we had the number one offense. So I think you can point, if you're recruiting a receiver, you can point to the fact that look what we did with these traits. Imagine if you're 6'4", 200, and you run a 4.3. Imagine what we could do with you in this offense. I think that's a and Ohio State has done it. They've gotten the 5-star receiver, and we can't knock them. They've gotten those guys, though. You know what I mean? We haven't gotten those guys over the years. So, I think it can go both ways. I think it can go both ways. Let's talk about my guy, category 5 in the building. What's going on? Look at how we finished. It was laughable. Kids don't trust it. I got you. I hear that. I definitely hear that, man. Listen, we talked about it. Miami over the last 20 years has been bad, to say the least, right? When Miami was invited to the ACC, it was because the ACC thought they were getting a Miami that was going to come in and compete. It hasn't been that. We've been to the championship one time, got our heads kicked in, and that was it. Because I was at that game. It was awful.
Me too.
It was awful. So, no, Miami hasn't held up the end of the bargain. But when recruits say, I just want to see Miami improve, I just want to see Miami's going in the right direction, it's going that way. It's been going that way. You can't, if you have eyes, you can't say it hasn't been going that way for the last couple years.
Right.
So, it's something more than that. But is it that bad, right? So if I'm looking at on 3, let me share something. Let me know if y'all see this. I'm about to put it up here. Right? Try to make it big. We're looking at on 3, right? Over the last this is 2023 recruiting. And this is the state of Florida. This is just in the state of Florida. So in 2023, you had CC, who was at IMG. He's not from Florida. But Cormani McLean was a Miami commit, right? He flipped on signing day. He was a Miami commit. Des Ricks went to Alabama. Damon Wilson, Jordan Hall, CJ Baxter, Hakeem Williams. Yeah, Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate, all went to Ohio State. Samuel and Pimbo, we were deep in that recruitment. But we got Ruben Bain. We got Jaden Wayne, who's not from Miami. He's from Washington, but he went to IMG. Riley Williams, not from Miami, but went to IMG. Ray, Fletch, Robert Stafford at the time, right? Damari at the time, top guy. Malik Bryant, Robbie Washington. These are all top guys in the state of Florida. Chris Johnson. So out of the top 50, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys, 12 guys out of the top 50 in the state of Florida in 2023. Is that an issue? Like, to me, that's doing all right. In 2024, same thing, right? 2024, of course, we miss on JJ. Ellis Robinson's not from Florida, but he went to IMG. David Stone, same thing, from Oklahoma. Went to IMG. Mm-hmm. We were recruiting LJ McCray, right? TJ Moore, we definitely needed and wanted, but ends up at Clemson. But we get Armando Blunt. We get JoJo. Some people say he was the best receiver in the class, or at least second. We get Zaquan, Booker Pickett. We get Jordan Lau, still from Ohio State. Chance Robinson, Aldarius Hayes, Artavius Jones. These are all top 50 in the state. Ryan Mack, who's still on the squad. Like, is it a problem or is it, you know, we're just missing on certain guys that make you say it's a problem?
I mean, I don't think it's an issue with the landing the guys. I think Miami and the staff, obviously with the changes that we've had with the staff changing, obviously things, I don't put some of these blames on certain coaches, some development, but I think Miami has to do a better job at hitting on certain targets. Like, I don't really necessarily need a top 5 guy. I just need a top 5 talent, a guy that can be developed into a top 5 guy, you know, which you could sit here and say, hey, you know, they went after a Samuel Mpembe, right? They went after an Ellis Robinson. It just didn't happen. But you're into year 4 now, right? This, to me, is Mario's money year because you're starting to see some of the fruits of his labors of that 10-win season, right? Just this year. A lot of and I'll say this too, the whole landscape of recruiting has changed. Like, bro, it's insane now because we used to be able to sit here and say, oh man, we'll let a guy commit and we'll flip him in December. They're not doing it as much anymore because deals are signed. You know, guys have already, hey, I'm logging. I got a whole nother deal going into this sponsor through this team, right? There's so many other deals now. Now you also, if a guy gets out of that contract and that deal, you have to now buy that contract out, and it goes against your cap, right? So a lot of these teams are going to hold on to guys a lot more, whether they have a bad year, whether the coach gets fired because of these contracts, right? So, you know, you may flip 1 or 2, which is still good, right? Like, you got a Hayden Lowe last year, which is outstanding, one of the best DNs in the country. But, you know, if you are missing 1 guy or 2 guys as a whole, right? Like, so right now you land 1 elite D tackle and let's just say 1 elite wide receiver in this, with what we have, I think your class is outstanding. Absolutely. You know, you have a elite class. So you can, at the end of the season, flip that, right? You can flip 2 guys. That's not hard. But if you go into this offseason and you miss a D tackle, an edge, a linebacker, a running back, and a wide receiver, you need 5 guys. It's very unlikely that you're going to flip that much, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's why you're seeing so many kids, one, commit during the summer, and two, staying kind of committed. Obviously you've seen the Tristan Key stuff and all that going around. But the problem is July 1st started a whole new world with this rev share, right? Everybody was trying to front load these contracts so you can kind of lock some of these kids in.
Yeah.
So if a kid decides no, I don't want to go to, I'm gonna just say Texas Tech, right? I don't want to go there because they're 6-6, the coach is on the hot seat or whatever. You're going to lose all that money you just signed for in say June 30th, right before July, and you're not going to get that back.
Yeah.
And you're talking millions for some, right?
Yeah. For some.
So it's going to be tougher in aspect. Now there are plenty of loopholes, right? Oh man, don't worry about that. I can get BMW down here to sponsor or whatever. You get all the. I understand that. I'm just saying you're trying to sell a kid and his family. Don't take that $5 million contract. Come here and I'm gonna give you this rev share. It's tougher, right? There's just a lot of aspects, man, that recruiting is changing every day. I mean, you know that, bro.
Yeah,
So,
it's grimy. Yeah. I think the one thing Miami can sell though is that they pay and they pay on time. Like we've never heard anything about Miami missing the payment or something crazy. Never from anybody. And these are people who transfer out. People who transfer out don't even have anything negative to say about Miami.
you can't.
Yeah, facts. Carl P, real quick, man. You heard I don't see the upside of these 2.5 star. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 5 stars. Russell isn't better than what we have in the room. I don't see him being better than JoJo or Josh Moore. And when Nick comes, he'll be behind them too. We don't know. That's the crazy part about high school. We don't know what's going to happen in college. We do know he's 6'6", jumps out the gym, and is
athletic.
Raw. So he's gonna need to be developed. We do know he's gonna need a year or two. We do know that, definitely. I don't think anybody denies that.
And I think too, though, what a lot of people you gotta grasp is stacking talent. It's not saying that, hey, you go get Calvin Russell, Tristan Keys, or Nick Lanier. They're coming in next year to start over JoJo or Josh or Mally.
Right.
It's the fact that, hey, I'm taking this floor in this wide receiver room, and it's going to be here now. We got to continue to elevate. And at the end of the day, just say you land. I don't see this happening, but just say you land Russell, Keys, and Spafford, right?
Sure.
And let's just say they come in and they sit right there under JoJo, Josh, and Mally for the next 3 years, and they say, hey, I want to transfer out. You still had the floor of that team elevated. Now, next year, 27, you need to go land at least another blue chip. You need to continue to stack talent. We can't sit here and say, hey, man, we got JoJo for 2 years. We got Mally for 3 years. We don't need nobody. No, you still need those people because at the end of the day, if one of those guys go down, we need somebody behind that continues, to not drop off.
And that's another kind of issue or question is that it seems like a lot of the good players or close to elite players are willing to go to an Alabama or Georgia and sit for 2 years,
Absolutely.
3 years. They're willing to do that. They're gonna chill and then play 1 or 2 seasons, whereas they're not coming to Miami. If Miami tell them, yo, you're gonna have to sit for a couple years, it's like, nah, we don't want to do that. So that's kind of difficult too, man. Bagging up. Kids may believe it's not the genius of Dawson's play calling and scheme that brought us the #1 ranked last year, but mostly hero. Yeah, I hear that argument, and I hear that also from the media. I hear media say a lot. Miami doesn't have Cam Ward. What's gonna happen? Miami doesn't have Cam Ward. Fam, nobody has Cam Ward. Like nobody had a Cam Ward. That's what be bothering me. Like there was only one school who had a Cam Ward. There's a bunch of if we just stay in our conference, if we just stay in the ACC, and we look at the quarterback rooms, and we look at the starting quarterbacks, who has a better starting quarterback? You got K. Klubnik at Clemson, who's improved dramatically over the last couple years. I still think he's but he's improved, and he has weapons, you know, and their offensive coordinator has been there throughout his whole tenure. So, you know, but other than that, what? Who we dealing with? Notre Dame's about to come in here with a freshman quarterback. Like, what? Florida has DJ Lagway, who hasn't shown shit. So what are we saying? Florida State has we know who Florida State has at quarterback. Like, come on, man. Like, we nobody has Cam Ward. Cam Ward was an elite talent. There's probably 3 elite quarterback. Is there any elite quarterbacks in college football this year? Like, there's people who say certain people are elite that we haven't seen be elite, but there's not any elite right now quarterbacks. So that argument is wild to me. All right, man, we're about to get out of here, man. Listen, we appreciate everybody who has joined us this evening. I'm trying to get to some question. Faith Family Football, Joey Fairpoint, brother. However, Ohio State didn't become wide receiver U with 5 stars. They only had 1 5-star drafted from 2016 to 2024, and that was Garrett Wilson out of Texas.
I don't think Ohio State's wide receiver U either.
Yeah, I think I mean, you know, I
definitely get that shit at LSU. You know, I mean, them dudes LSU, are for real, producing.
Yeah, absolutely. Rasta, man, anything in recruiting that you think I know moving, you know, Derek Cooper. Let's talk Derek Cooper. You have any bad feelings about that recruitment?
For one, it's a 5-star, right?
Yeah.
You know, I like the people I talk to. Obviously, I don't do my show and stuff no more, so I don't talk to people as much as I used to. But like when I do talk to people, I tell people one thing: you wanted big boy recruiting, bro. You got it. This is what happens. You know, anytime you're dealing with a 5-star, top 50 blue chip guy, you're gonna have these toss and turns, and it just happens, bro. We're not the only team dealing with it. It is discouraging, right, that he pushed his date back. But at the end of the day, Miami, I still feel like you're their guy, bro. Like you're Miami's number 1 guy, obviously for a reason. You know, I don't know if he wants to drive up his bag. I don't know if, you know, hey, I just want to keep collecting these checks. Whatever it is, there's something out there, right? But do what you're supposed to do. Recruit him at an all-time high. Be the number 1 priority. Show him the love. Don't change. Give him a reason this season, you know, which I do think Miami will. I think Jordan Lyle, Mark Fletcher, and Shamar, I think will give him every reason to be a Miami Hurricane. At the end of the day, it's his choice. We just got to kind of wait it out and see how this goes. Yeah.
Feel the same way, man. You think Tristan Keys is a possibility? Is it closer than people think with Tristan Keys? Is it like a possibility?
I think with a lot of these guys, right, that the national people, Keys, Brown, Bryce Perry, right, all these guys that you continue to hear, oh, Miami's going to recruit to the end and all this other stuff, ignore and wipe out everything you see as far as media, the reports, because nobody knows, bro. You've seen all these twists, these turns. Tristan Keys was supposed to commit to Miami twice now. He's supposed to decommit from LSU 3-4 times now. He's leaning towards A&M, Tennessee, Miami. Oh, he's going to stay. Bro, none of it's all clickbait, bro. That's all it is. You're paying these media personnel. They get paid off your likes and everything else. Nobody knows what Tristan Keys is going to do. Why, as a wide receiver, would you flip from LSU?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I hope he does. I hope Miami gives him every reason to. He's the number one wide receiver in the country to me. And I think Miami's missing that. I really do. I think that's been the biggest thing that Miami's been missing is an elite guy. And I think JoJo could be that. I've been on record saying that shit before. But we need to continue to elevate that room. So if he needs a bigger bag, give him. Do whatever you got to do.
Whatever he needs, brother.
Well, Nick Saban would have gave that kid whatever he wanted.
Yep. Whatever he needs, man. Move the family out here. And it seems to me that he's enamored with Miami, with the city. He's down a lot. And when he's down, he kicks it. You know, is that enough? I don't know. You know, is Darion Coleman coming through enough? I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, I think the season can tell a lot sometimes, man. Again, if LSU sucks, LSU underachieves, you know, I think heads kind of roll there. But what if Miami underachieves, or what if Shannon Dawson leaves? You know, what if Miami has a magnificent season, goes to the ACC championship, wins it, gets to the playoffs, and Shannon Dawson's like, you know, I'm going to bounce. I'm going to take this opportunity and go. Then how does that look? You know, so there's several things that can take place, man. Again, we won't know anything until December for real. So especially with these 5-star guys. All right, man. I appreciate you, Rasta, man. Do me a favor, guys. Man. Scan for merch, man. We got the Legends line up. We just dropped Ray Lewis last week. I think we got a couple more to drop. And we'll drop another one. I don't know if we're doing this week, next week. I don't know. We'll drop another one. We are going to get into our deep dive, man. The schedule coming up. We're going to talk Notre Dame Sunday. We're going to start Sunday talking about ND, man. And spoiler alert, I'm never going to pick Miami to lose. I don't give a fuck. I'm not picking Miami to lose. So I will discuss how Miami can win and why Miami will lose. I'll do it that way instead of picking a score and picking them to lose. I'm not going to do that, man. We going undefeated every damn year. I'm not going to. But fam, I appreciate you, man. I hope everything's going well. Thank you for taking time out. Appreciate you. Chat.
So, man.
Appreciate you. Cafecito, Mo. Appreciate you, man. All right, we'll holla, man.
Thanks for watching. You heard. Thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all. You already know every Wednesday, 6 o'clock. You already know every Sunday. Right on time. You already know. You already know.